So I thought I'd do a little video here, and the video today is going to be on checking your nuts and more. And so it's a few things that I've included in here for you to know about. And the nuts I'm talking about are your lug nuts on your car. So first thing you have to do is you have to get a torque wrench. And I think it's a pretty good investment. They're pretty reasonable. I'm showing you one here. This is a torque wrench that goes up to, it's a 1/2-inch torque wrench with a half-inch connector on here, and it goes up to 250 foot-pounds of torque. And it's the other torque readings for the people from outside the United States, so it's on the other side, so you can use that if you have to. But this is foot-pounds, and it goes all the way up to 250 foot-pounds. And the reason I bought this was the fact that I'm only going to go up to 140 foot-pounds, but I want to have enough oomph so that I can do it. And you can see this is pretty long. If you can see my hand here, this is pretty long, and it's going to give you some nice torque when you're some leverage when you're tightening up your wheels. Now, you could put this on the end, I suppose, and barely get by. But see here, the problem is going to be if it's going to be flipped around. But let's say it's like that. You're going to have trouble getting into the side of your wheel there. It's going to be a real pain in the butt. So what I did was I got a 5-inch extension, a 1/2-inch, 5-inch extension, and then I put this on that. And now when I put this on here, I have a really easy way to clear my wheel, so there's no bumping around. Now, the other thing that's nice about this is, if you notice this, by the way, you need 22 millimeters, 22 millimeter socket wrench. And I bought this socket wrench because of a couple of things. It has a core and sleeve that is non-marring. So in other words, the core being in there. So if you put right onto your lug nut, it's not going to scratch it. And especially the outside here, you're not going to get scratched or marred by around the area where your socket is that tightens your lug nut. So that works really nice. You're not going to get it banged around and scratched around in here at all. That's the setup. By the way, if any of you know about foot-pounds, I remember when I was 20, in the year 2000, 2010, 2015, I was using 90 to 100 foot-pounds of torque. And now they're saying to torque these wheels at 140 foot-pounds of torque. Holy crap. That's a significant increase. I'll put a link to the torque wrench. I'll see if I can find the extension for you, and also this nice little socket that you want to use to get off or tighten your lug nuts. This is perfect. And the other thing I want to, it's very important. When you're not using your lug wrench, set it to 0, and I think I've got it set it to 0 here now. So set this torque wrench to 0. The reason being is the, I guess you call it the spring or the adjustment device that's inside there. Over a period of time, if you leave it at, let's say, 140 foot-pounds of torque, eventually it's not going to become, it's going to become not very accurate. So you want to keep the accuracy of your torque wrench good, and the way you do that is by putting it back to 0 every time you use it. If you were just checking the torque specifications on all your wheels, you could just go around and I would set it at 140 foot-pounds, and I'd check all the wheels, which I've already done, by the way. But if I were to take the wheel off, then I would set my torque wrench at 50, then I'd set it at 100, then I'd set it at 140, and then that's the way I tighten up each wheel. Now, the other thing that's important about tightening up these wheels is always do a star pattern. Now, what do I mean by a star pattern? If you've never been down this road before, I'm going to show you. That's one. This is the way I would tighten this wheel. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So I'd be going bump, 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 like that. And that's the way you want to do a star pattern. Now, I might star pattern. Now, I might repeat it and change it around a little bit if I were doing 50, then 100, then 140. But you can, as long as you're doing a star pattern, just don't go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That lets everybody know you have no idea what you're doing. And I think I'm trying to think too, what's the deal with the 140 foot-pounds of torque? If anybody knows the answer to that, please drop it in the comments below, because I don't know why it's up to 140 foot-pounds of torque, unless it has something to do with the brakes. I'm not sure. But if somebody knows that answer, why did we go from 100 to 140? I'd love to know that answer. And by the way, I noticed just a slight bit of tightening going around and doing all these wheels at 140 foot-pounds. And so the wheels are tightened from the factory pretty good, but you never know if somebody took a wheel off or if there was a lug. You know, you just never know what you're getting unless you, and I think it's having the peace of mind knowing that I checked every one of these lug nuts on this car, and I know exactly what's going on with these wheels. I know exactly what they're torqued at 140 foot-pounds of torque. I don't have an old, that's my old torque wrench. That one's going out. I've had that since, 1997, I think. It has to go. It's way out of adjustment, and it's way out of spec. So I had to get rid of it. And we got a nice new one, so that's gonna work fine. That'll last me for many years. I've been wrestling around, not with the front tires. I think they were all 30, I forget now. I've got to remember. I think it's 30 foot-pounds on the front and 32 in the front and 30 in the rear. Now that doesn't make any sense to me. How can you be 32 in the front and 30 in the rear with this much bigger tire on the rear? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, if you look on the door like I just did, it's 32 pounds in the front and 30 pounds in the rear. Now, in the owner's manual, it says 32 pounds in the front. Okay, we're all good with the front, so we can forget about the front. But the rear, it says in the owner's manual, 36 pounds. So how did I get from 30 to 36 pounds? Something's not right. It's got to be a significant difference in the car to go 6 pounds, 30 pounds to 36 pounds. And so, the door, I called my dealer and they said, oh, believe what's on the door. Well, how do I know they didn't put the wrong sticker on the door? It might be for a different tire. I don't know. But I'm not getting a clear answer anywhere. So if you know the answer to that, please put it down in the comments, because I have no idea. Should this be 30 or should this be 36 pounds or should it be 33 pounds? Or, I don't know. Right now I'm running at 33. I sort of compromise between 30 and 36. I'm at 33, so that's what I got on there right now. Oh, on an update on the brake burnishing, I think I did it 15, 16 times, burnished the brakes from 60 to 10 miles an hour. And these brakes are performing magnificently. I'm very, very happy. These brakes are doing great. I'm trying to do a thing on washing the wheels, and I've got a couple of products I'm going to try and see which one's the best, or we'll try to see which one's the best. I keep waiting for my wheels to get dirty, and then I thought, oh yeah, the light bulb just went off in my head. These ceramic brakes create 90% less dust than your steel rotors. That's huge, 90%. So I'm getting, look at my brakes. Look at everything. I mean, look at the wheels. There's no dust on them. There's nothing. So I keep waiting to clean my wheels, and they're not getting dirty. Now, I've had the car a month. They should be filthy. It's got 600-700 miles on the car. They should be filthy. They're not. So I will, my next little hint and tricks things that I'm going to tell you about as we go along here, the next one will be, hopefully, I'll get to clean the wheels. But why clean the wheels if they're not dirty? I mean, it's kind of silly to do that. So anyway. So in conclusion, I would highly suggest you get this little socket right here, and I would highly suggest you get the extension so that you don't scrub your hands on the side of the wheel there. And I'd also say I really like the Craftsman torque wrench here, and it's very, very good. As I said, I put a link in the description to this, and I would highly recommend this. This works really, really great, and no trouble torquing my lug nuts. So that's it with the nuts. And so we'll see you on the next one.